Welcome back to Rustin's Rundown. We got a lot of hockey to cover today, so let's just jump right into it. Tampa Bay versus Boston. Tampa was out without Ryan McDonagh today, so they had 11 forwards and 7 D-man. But you couldn't really tell that McDonagh's loss, the depth made up for it. It was definitely a big loss for them, but Tampa really stepped up. Coburn, who's new in the lineup, takes a shot at Halak early. It was a good shot, and Halak was strong tonight. Halak was very strong tonight. Poor Bogosian. This is early in the game. Bogosian's keeping the puck onside. Stick breaks, and I think it was Krejci, I want to say, beat him to the puck, gets the puck on net, and then there's a scramble in front, and at 3:19, Ritchie gets a goal assist by Bjork, which, again, it's one of those goals just like the Essa Lindell goal from the other night. I don't know about that. They're saying the Lindell goal might not have even crossed the line. The ref just called it based off of his reaction. This one, it kind of looked like goaltender interference, but you just got to deal with those kinds of calls. I'm going to close this so I have more room to work. Sorry about that. Gaudreau then answers quickly, but it's offsides because Point was lollygagging back to the bench. And that's tough. That's deflating. I mean, Tampa's one of those teams where you see time and time again, they kind of get lazy sometimes. And that's one of those things. Paquette, though, is trying to get some momentum back on their side, causes a scrum. Grizzlick and Paquette then get roughing penalties, so we get 4-on-4. Pasternak's denied on that. Chernak and Wagner, not Uyghur. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. They have a little exchange. At 12:42, Coleman, what a goal. Gaudreau gets a Bogosian with a great pass to Coleman, and he dives and pokes it 5-hole for the tying goal. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. Killorn then takes a high sticking penalty, and Coburn takes down DeBrusque. So the first period, fairly even. Might give a slight edge to the Bruins because of Tampa being stupid, but I mean, that's fairly even in my opinion. Second period, Bergeron gets an early chance. Maroon and Clifton start to have a little exchange. Corrali takes a slashing penalty. Tampa has now gone for 14 straight scoreless power plays, which is tough. I think they go another one. I want to say they got to 15, but I'm not exactly sure. Yes, they did. 15. Pastrnak tries a one-handed shot. He's very close. Very close. Palat then takes a high stick. At 14:33, Marchand gets a power play goals by Pastrnak and Krug, but they answer fairly quickly. Kucherov gets a goal by Shattenkirk and Point right after that. And right after that goal, Tampa's like, let's take the lead, and they try, and Point has a really, really good chance there. Towards the end of the period, Brandon Carlo gets away with a slash on the same play that Hedman takes a holding penalty, so Tampa was a little upset by that. We go to the third. Clifton takes an interference penalty, and this is what I noticed. Victor Hedman's not on the top power play unit. Why? Victor Hedman had both goals in the previous game. He's very much been their best defenseman. I don't see why he's not on that first power play unit. Halak, again, has been shut down. No rebounds. You'll see that again from Markstrom later in the Vegas game. Halak has been, whenever he's called upon, he's been great. Coyle's denied. Coleman's robbed. Absolute robbery. Very, very close. 10:40, Coleman gets the goal, assisted by Hedman. It trickles 5-hole. Coleman really loving 5-hole. It's the first lead of the series. Again, just some back and forth. 16:02, Marchand gets a goal, his second of the night, assisted by Corrali and Pastrnak. And we go to overtime. As soon as that goal was scored, I was never in doubt that we were going to overtime. Overtime, not much happens, but at 4:40, Palat gets a goal, assisted by Gord and Maroon. Tampa Bay ties the series at 1, and they're undefeated in overtime. You go to overtime, Tampa's winning the game. Good luck. Shots on goal are... Oh, I did this backwards. Dang it. 40-25 in favor of Tampa. Face-off percentage was 51.6 to 48.4 in favor of Boston. Power play was 33% to 0%. Boston had 3 chances while Tampa Bay had 2, but Tampa could not catch it on either, while Boston did on 1. Hits were 47-43 in favor of Boston. Blocks were 27-18 in favor of Boston. And the save percentage was .900 to .880 to Boston. Oh, Yeah, yep, to Boston. But Tampa got the win. Happens sometimes. Again, I think Tampa showed signs of being complacent, which is very frustrating. It's just frustrating hockey when you know the team is very, very talented and they're just not living up to their talent because they're like, oh, we're too good. But they also showed that hunger that they showed a couple times against Columbus, and so they squeak out a win. So this is going to be a fun series. I really do think it's going to go 7 games. Vancouver, Vegas. So overtime of this game caused the first period of this game to be missed. I don't have an NHL Network, so I can't watch that. So the first period's kind of a bridge. Also, I had friends over, so we watched King of Staten Island. I recorded this game and watched it after. Really good movie. But my one friend was trying to convince me that Pete Davidson was good looking, and he looks like Randy from Monsters, Inc. was a person. So I'm sorry, you're wrong. To that friend, I'm not going to name her because I don't know who watches these. But yeah, back to hockey. Toffoli's back in the lineup for Vancouver, and he makes an impact early at 1:29. Toffoli gets a goal by Pettersson Hughes. Pettersson with a wraparound attempt that Toffoli just knocks in. Shea Theodore got caught puck watching, but he makes up for it later many, many times. Theodore might be one of the most underrated defensemen in the league, and we'll get to that. 10:54, Horvat got a power play goals by Toffoli and Pettersson. So they got 2-0 lead in the first period. Miller takes a Theodore shot. Stevenson rocks Tanev. What a hit. That was really cool. Theodore has a sick toe drag deke for a shot, and Markstrom says no. This period was basically Toffoli making a huge impact when he's back in the lineup, and just a really fast period by Vancouver. But Vegas didn't look bad. It was just a defensive gaffe and then a rare penalty kill mishap. Rare in the postseason. The regular season, Vegas was frustrating in both defense and penalty kill, but not so far, so that's why I'm pointing it out. Miller then took a hooking penalty at the beginning of the second period. Markstrom denies Theodore twice. Again, the power play for Vegas, great puck movement, great chances, no goals. It's very typical of Vegas to outchance and outshoot a team and then just not win. But they tend to answer very well, so game 3, I don't expect Vegas to lose, but we'll see. We started seeing lineup changes around the 5-minute mark. Stevenson started playing with Pacioretty and Stone, and then Carlson with Marchessault and Smith, and then they moved Waugh to the 4th line with Carrier and Reeves, and then it was Cousins, Tuck, and Waugh. There's it go. But then eventually they would put Stasny back with Marchessault and Smith. Carlson played with Tuck and Pacioretty for a little bit. They were doing a lot of weird stuff, but I kind of liked them. Like, the lines weren't bad. Anyways, Stetcher turned aside with a really great shot from the point. Vancouver has a lot of shot blocks, but we'll talk about that later when we get to the stats. But it was making a huge impact on the game. At 6:34, Tuck gets a goal, and this was really impressive. Theodore gets it to Waugh. Waugh with a really great stop and turn, which broke someone's ankles. I think it was Edler, but I don't recall, so my bad for not noting that. He gets it to Tuck, and Tuck just buries it. Tuck has been clutch, absolutely clutch. Especially since he was injured a lot in the regular season, Tuck is really making himself worth it. And there were trade rumors for a little bit because he has a decent cap hit. I doubt they get rid of him after his performance in these playoffs. Besser takes a delay of game penalty, and I am a Vegas fan, but I'm not one to not call out the refs for a bad call. They called delay of game on a puck that clearly hit the glass, and that was bad. The only silver lining is that the Canucks did kill that penalty, but it was close. Stone had a really great chance, and Martinez, 2 shots go wide, and either one of those could have easily been buried. Oh, that was frustrating. Well, as a Vegas fan, yes, but I mean, if you're a Canucks fan, you were loving it because Vegas was dominating and just couldn't put one in the net. Besides the Tuck goal, obviously, that I just talked about. So, Pearson and Waugh start getting really physical. Again, Vegas doing that thing where they dominate but don't score. Theodore, we'll talk about Theodore now. Shea Theodore, like I said previously, might be one of the more underrated defensemen in the league. He doesn't necessarily rack up a lot of points, but he does. Like, he does have a fair amount of points. He has a lot of overtime winners and game-winning goals in the regular season. really good on the assists. But his skating, he skates like a forward. He really does, but then he is very defensively minded. It's ridiculous, and you'll see a lot of times in games where Theodore's like, oh, we need momentum? Okay, watch me do this really sick deke. And then 9 times out of 10 he scores too, which is very helpful. The problem is he doesn't have the name value of McCarr and Hughes and who else? Well, and Heiskanen. But honestly, Theodore has been really, really impressive. He's really it's really annoying, honestly, that he doesn't get the credit he deserves. There was some Norris Trophy talks, but mostly by Vegas fans, I'm going to assume, to be honest, for Theodore. And personally, watching Theodore, yeah, I think it's worth it. But knowing how the Norris Trophy votes work, I doubt he'll ever win it, which is unfortunate. But we'll see. Maybe he really goes off one year and he makes himself as good as I know he can be. Carlson is then denied. Horvat is barely stopped. Leonard just barely got the shoulder on that shot. Carlson then goes wide. Pettersson hits the crossbar. And the Vegas defense looked very unfocused. Despite the offense being great this period, the defense was unfocused and it was hurting them a lot. Carrier and Stevenson couldn't connect on a 2-on-1, but they're like, well, that sucked. Let's just destroy Roussel, which was great because despite there not being as much fun chirping between him and Reeves tonight, everyone hates him still on the Vegas team. In 1835, off the face-off, Pettersson gets a great goal. Assisted by Edler and Toffoli. Leonard had absolutely no chance, but we'll talk about Leonard's performance at the end. Carlson has a really good chance the last second of the period. This one, it's unfortunate. If you're Vegas, you're kind of walking away from this period a little disappointed because you only got one goal despite just peppering shots and just completely owning the offensive zone and the neutral zone for a little bit too. It's just hockey. Vancouver played a good game. And they, not even that they played great, they played pretty well, but they cashed in on their opportunities, which Vegas did not. 18 seconds into the third period, Horvat gets a goal by Besser and Edler because McNabb and Schmidt were puck watching. Again, unfocused defense. It's happened in the regular season, but for the postseason, it's been very rare for Vegas to do that, and it's frustrating when you see it here, especially when they're very much in this game still. Carey then takes a goaltender interference penalty. Toffoli tried a between the legs goal, which Leonard barely stopped, and Toffoli knew he was close. Carrier then rocks Hughes. Hughes has been a target. Hughes, Tanev, and Roussel have been really taking a lot of Vegas' anger. So, got to watch out for that. I wouldn't be surprised if there ends up being one of those hits where it's dangerous. We'll see. This is going to be a fun series going forward. It's definitely starting to get a lot more physical than I expected. Carlson is then absolutely robbed by Markstrom. Markstrom is ridiculous tonight. Markstrom definitely stole this game. Edler takes a tripping penalty. Stone is really, really close in the backhand. And Martinez is wide again. Oh, it's from the same spot, too, on the right circle. And it's funny because on both power plays, it's Stone and Martinez with the best chances and neither of them cashed in. It's just one of those nights. Pacioretty then takes a roughing penalty. Tuck and Virtanen have a really rough exchange where Virtanen just rips his helmet off, and then Tuck's like, you know what, mother trucker? Yep, I caught myself. And he just starts jamming him into the ice, which was a bit much, buddy. Virtanen takes a 2-minute minor for roughing. Tuck takes a 4-minute. On that same stretch there, White Cloud went for a hit, and he moved out. Whoever he was trying to hit, I didn't note his name, moved out of the way, so White Cloud just threw himself into his own bench. That was pretty funny. At 3:12, Vegas goes empty net. Edler then takes a cross-checking penalty. At 18:34, Pacioretty gets a power play goal by Theodore and Stasny. Theodore made a great play to stay onside there. Again, Theodore really putting this team on his back when they need him to. At 1:26, Vegas takes a timeout. 1:26 left on the clock. Vegas takes a timeout. With 1:10 left on the clock, to go empty net again. Marshall has a great chance. Doesn't go in because it's just that night for Vegas. And at 19:30, Pearson gets an empty net goals by Miller. Vancouver wins 5-2 and ties the series at 1. Shots on goal were 40-27 in favor of Vegas. Face-off percentage still dominated by Vancouver, just like Game 1, 66.2% to 33.8. power play percentage was 20%, 1 for 5 for Vancouver versus 25%, 1 for 4 for Vegas. Hits were 38-31 in favor of Vegas. Block shots were 40-15 in favor of Vancouver, which was huge for Vancouver, especially in that second period. It is franchise record for block shots in a playoff game, close to the NHL record for block shots, which was 41 by the Montreal Canadiens. Save percentage was .95 by Vancouver and .815 by Vegas. We're going to talk about Vegas's depth has really shown up in these playoffs. 16 players with a goal and 20 players with at least a point. Not in this game apparently, but I saw that during the intermission report. Thought it was worth saying. This game, because they scored 5 goals, I know that with the recent goalie controversy, all the Vegas fans are going to be like, well, we should put Fleury in. No, because Leonard, it's not Leonard's fault, number one. The defense really did Leonard 0 favors. The Toffoli goal, that, like, what is he supposed to do on that? Like, if Shea Theodore is there, that goal doesn't go in, but he's not. The power play goal, all right, that's not, I'll give that Leonard, so that's one that I'll give to Leonard. The Pettersson goal had zero chance to make that save. The Horvat goal, same deal. He had 2 guys deep because everyone was chilling at the blue line still. So that's 4 of 5 goals that, 3 of 4, because the 5th goal is an empty net, that aren't Leonard's fault. Fleury's a great goalie, and if you want to test him, if they lose the next game, yeah, throw in Fleury. But I doubt they will, number one. And number two, it's not Leonard. It wouldn't be Leonard. It's just, no, stop. Stop trying to blame it on Leonard. He's been a great goalie for us. Enough of that. I also, speaking of goalie performances, Markstrom, I don't want to put down the performance of the rest of the team, but they really got away with one here. Markstrom definitely stole this game. The entire second period was dominated, and I don't know how many times I have to say that for you guys, for people to get it, but I was arguing with some friends about this game because they're just trying to argue that I'm a Vegas fan. No, Markstrom did not let rebounds up. Markstrom was all over the puck. He was a beast tonight. Definitely showing his Vezina caliber goalie right there. So they get away with one. And the last thing I need to talk about tonight is Jonathan Marchessault making some interesting comments on Insta. I'm not going to repeat what he said because yikes. But apparently he was hacked. I choose to believe that as a Vegas fan that he was hacked. But I do know that Marchessault can be a little bit of a hothead sometimes, so I wouldn't be that surprised if he actually said those things. But hopefully not. I hope he doesn't get in any trouble if he really did say those things. But yeah, it's not a good look after a loss. So those are today's games. Both these series have become my favorite in this round. And we'll see how they go going forward. We got 3 games slated for tomorrow night. And I'm excited to watch them. And I will cover them here tomorrow night. If you enjoyed tonight's recap, rundown. I call them rundowns. I'm sorry, it's 4 in the morning right now. And my brain is not working. So if you enjoyed the rundown, like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow.